And welcome to Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. If you're watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunt Hangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunt Hangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench, which is right below in memory of our friends. Now, if you're not a member or, excuse me, if you're not logged into Stunt Hangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. That's courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunt Hangar will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in and just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. You can enter your questions or comments in the chat box right over here. I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. And understand, sometimes I can't get a word in myself. So be patient. And I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. And by the way, you only can do this during a live stream. So like I said, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you find the Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts that I host or the many building videos, contest coverage that Sparky does on this platform, informative and enjoyable, please hit the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Share the videos, comments on the videos. All these engagements help the Stunt Hangar YouTube channel grow. Please consider joining Stunt Hangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And by the way, there's two more tiers above the $4.99 minimum. And by the way, I'm a member. I have the $4.99 come out of my own checking account each and every month, and I don't miss it. And I suspect you won't miss it either. Plus, you'll be helping your hobby. Hopefully, you're just as passionate about it as Sparky and I am. And you'll be helping the hobby to continue and prosper. Now, when you join our YouTube channel membership, you actually receive member-only status where you can go to the YouTube channel. There's some videos that aren't for public. They're only for members only. There's some that are private. So if you join us, you'll get that in return. Plus, whenever Sparky and I look in the chat box, we can distinguish those supporting patrons. Okay, I mean it stands out. There's no doubt. We know who are the ones that are supporting us and who isn't. So if you want to be acknowledged as a supporter, please join. It doesn't. This is like the cost of going to Starbucks and getting a latte or some other concoction. And just do that once a month, or withhold it. Just save it once a month and spend that $4.99 here. Now, if you have any questions or comments that are directed toward me, please go to my YouTube channel, because if you have any comments or questions, you leave in the comments. I don't read Sparky's comments or channel because I don't get notified. But if you go to my YouTube channel and leave a message or a comment, I'll be notified. I'll get a prompting on my phone, and I'll know to respond to you quickly. By the way, my YouTube channel is called Flying Control Line Stunt. I'm going to repeat that. Flying Control Line Stunt. And if you would, locate the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which is a video that Sparky shot with his video camera, me flying his plane, his Junar XL. It was orange back then, and now it's white with orange trim. And check it out. and leave a comment there. I'd appreciate it. And I'll be notified and I'll receive that comment. Now, if you have a question, I'll respond to you quickly. Now, I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't say or do around your own children or grandchildren. And without any further ado, I'm now going to post the link at the Stunt Hangar forum. Let me do that right now. And I'm making my way to the Stunt Hangar forum. And it's called Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts, Friday, February 9th, 2024. So look for that. If you're there already, hit refresh and the link will appear very shortly. And now I'm going to make my way over to the to what I call the control panel. And let me see what's happening there. And I'm making my way. Looks like we are streaming. That's good. Let me know if you can hear me, if there's a problem with the audio. Let me make my way there now. And let's see what's happening. Hopefully, we have a very good show today. And let me see here. Still got a couple more clicks in order to get there. Just bear with me. Haven't been doing any flying. It's been raining all week. And I don't expect it to let up until early next week. But by then, the field is going to be so saturated. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fly even next week. And I think shortly after that, it's going to be cold and might not be warm enough to dissipate all the water. Yeah, so it's been challenging. So we were down in Warwick. I think she wrote that song. It doesn't rain in Southern California. Boy, it's pouring. It has been pouring. Unbelievable drenching of Southern California. Fortunately, there for me, I haven't experienced any flooding, but I know there's some areas of Southern California that have flooding. And it looks like we have Gary Sinclair making his way in here, and I'll be with him very shortly. And let's see what's happening with Gary and everybody else who joins us. And it looks like Gary Sinclair in the chat box. He's a member of our YouTube channel. He's also a monitor of the chat box. He says, "Hi everyone, like provided." Thank you, Gary. How you doing, Gary?
Good.
Good to see you.
Really good. You're done with the rain, I suppose.
No, I
No?
think it's not going to be stopped until Sunday or Monday.
Okay.
I hope to get out Monday, but I don't know if it's going to happen. It's probably going to be still be flooded. The ground can only hold and absorb so much water, so it's going to be on top of that, you know.
Yeah.
I have a few more comments in the chat box. I have this guy's handle says, "Go for it painting." Very cool. And he says hello, or she says hello. He or she, I mean. Hey, thanks for coming in. Go for it painting. I hope you stick around and get a chance to learn um, about our hobby, control line stunt. And let me know if you are, if you are a control line enthusiast. I'd like to know what you fly, what you've built. And then Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. He says, "Yo, thank you, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate everybody who comes in." So right now we have 9 concurrent viewers. We have 6 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do that. It's free. It won't cost you anything to do that. And consider joining our YouTube channel. And also, you can also donate. If you don't want to do the memberships of $4.99 a month, you can just do the super chat when you come in. And it's right below the chat box. It's a dollar sign there, big dollar sign. Click on that and donate and whatever you feel inclined and what you're receiving in return. And then if we are watching this as a replay, you'll see these 3 dots below the main screen. Click on that. There'll be a sub menu, and it'll be super thanks there. Click on that. And again, if you're watching this all the time, well, you should be supporting us. I mean, I think so. And if you're getting things in return, if you're learning, getting better at building, getting better at flying, understanding what it takes to have a competitive stunt ship, or even learn the maneuvers, even learn that there's a pattern, an order of maneuvers and what they're supposed to look like. I know we did a program on just the stunt pattern alone. Some people like myself, when I was first coming up, I bought some Sterling kits. I bought some Vico kits, bought some, and they were showing some maneuvers like loops, square loops, figure eights, but I didn't know there was the hourglass and the four leaf clover. I didn't know there were other maneuvers in there. So, um, not everybody knows about the stunt pattern, and the stunt pattern's been around since the 50s. I think George Aldridge is the father of what we call the stunt pattern. And there's also the old time stunt pattern, and there's other ways of doing. We actually have a something that's been initiated by Dennis Adamson, Mark Gerber. I hate to miss out who else is, but they're doing something for us that are kind of getting old and looking up and remembering all the maneuvers is tough enough. And we have a pattern to help people who are a little bit older, and hopefully that'll catch on. So, anyways, now we have 7 likes and 10 concurrent viewers. Hey, so Gary, what you been up to?
Just taking care of my wife.
Yeah, taking care of
Yeah,
Opal. I bet
yeah,
that's
yeah,
a full-time job. I understand. Trust me.
yeah,
I'm a caregiver too, so I probably not to the degree that you are, because Opal's a lot older than my wife. So yeah, I know that's tough. So
yeah.
have you seen any planes that caught your fancy? I know that you spend time on the internet. Have you seen anything that you thought was pretty neat? Any airplanes, model airplanes or real airplanes?
Well, there's several. I know about. I got that stick, from what you call it. And it's most. I saw most of the planes that he sent me. He send the stick in. What's it? Bob Hunt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
isn't that neat? Isn't that
yeah.
neat? Yeah, I've
That's
been
it.
yeah, what really caught my eye was the America by what is his name? Trying to remember his name, but the America, that really caught my eye. Let me see if I can even bring that up. I might even be able to share that. I reached out and called Bob Hunt, and I got his message and just let him know I'm thinking about him. And I spoke to I spoke to Bart Koplinski today, and he told me to tell everybody hi. So if anybody listening in the audience, Bart Koplinski says hi, hello. Let me see if I can find that image of what I was talking about that you reminded me of, the America. It's pretty neat looking plane. I don't know if I could even find that without setting
Yeah.
that thing up, because that's
You
a
have to
big.
know the pilot, wouldn't you? Don't you have it on pilots or something?
Let me see here.
Folder with the pilot's name or something, I think.
Let me see here. Hey, Jim Hoffman's here.
Hey Charles, how are you? Hi
I'm doing
Gary.
well. How you doing?
Good,
Hi,
good.
Jim.
Hi
Thanks.
Gary.
Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Did you have technical trouble? I saw the link was late.
Um, I don't know. I mean, not really. Not really.
Oh,
But it worked, obviously. So
yeah.
I'm glad you didn't have any trouble getting in.
No, no. Once the link appeared, easy peasy.
Fantastic. So what you been up to?
Let's see. Let's see. Well, last weekend was the Southwest Regional stuff, so that consumed me.
I bet.
I did some little bit of science this week with spectral lines.
Hmm.
I've been flying some glow airplanes with spectra,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't clean them. Well, the electric stuff doesn't generate any schmutz that goes on the lines, but the glow certainly does. So I wanted to see how to go about cleaning these lines. And so there on the Stunt Hangar, there's a thread about spectra. So wasn't much information there. One fella suggested soaking them in soapy water. I'm not sure how you go about doing that and what that
Yeah.
would do for you, really. So I said, I'm going to clean them like I clean my metal lines with, I use acetone mostly. So I made a sample first of all, I talked to the factory, so I have an understanding of what the base materials are. And then I made up a test sample, like a 2-foot sample, soaked it in acetone, in a jar of acetone overnight. And then I took it and did a pull test. I pulled it to destruction. And it failed just exactly where I would have expected it to fail.
Okay.
So I have 3 sets of lines that have been on glow airplanes, anywhere from 5 flights to maybe 13 flights. And 2 different manufacturers, and I cleaned them with acetone, just like you would a regular set of steel lines. And so I didn't get much black schmutz on the paper towel. A little bit of the color, the lines are dyed different colors. A little bit of the color came off. But so I'm still trying to figure out what's going on, because after, say, a dozen flights, I'd expect the paper towel to be pretty dark with oil, and there wasn't much there. So I'm thinking perhaps that oil is perhaps the porosity of the material, the oil soaking in. So anyhow, that was my science for today.
Oh, very good. Very good. I haven't cleaned my electric plane lines, which are Spectra, courtesy of Dennis Adamison. And yeah, they're not very dirty because I just fly on inside a softball circle and softball diamond, and just the dirt field, which is kind of hard packed, maybe clay-like material. So I don't think anything sticks to those lines, and so it does stay relatively clean.
They always look clean. So I was surprised. I know you're flying electric, and I know my electric lines, I don't clean them very often. Glow airplanes, I clean them every flight, but electric, I don't. But flying Spectra on glow makes me want to think about keeping those lines clean.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've used a brake cleaner to clean the lines. I just have a can of a brake cleaner.
Yeah.
Hit that, and I clean the lines with that. I haven't used that on my Spectra lines, but that's how I clean stainless steel lines with the brake cleaner.
Yep, and that's very aggressive. That's I use that too sometimes. I use that on solid lines.
Okay.
It's really aggressive. I would be hesitant to put that on Spectra without going through the steps that I just described.
Right.
Soaking it for 24 hours, and then do a pull test, make sure it doesn't degrade the material, because brake cleaner, that's why it works so well. It's very aggressive, and I'm not sure exactly what's in there. It's something more aggressive than acetone. And acetone is pretty aggressive.
So your acetone, would you just keep it in a can, or do you have it in a spray bottle? How you use the acetone at the field?
Just have it in a can. And you open the can, put a paper towel over it. You just get a little bit on that paper towel, and then you run it down the lines.
Okay.
I always put 2 pads in my hand. One, I keep tension on the lines, and the other one, I go back and forth. So when I walk from the airplane to the handle, those lines have seen 3, 4, 5 passes of the paper towel. Then you inspect the paper towel, and with solid lines, you just rinse and repeat until there's almost no black oil on that paper towel. And that makes a big difference with solid lines.
I've never used solids just because of it requires so much diligence, like what you're describing, But they do pay off in that I haven't flown with solid, but I imagine it's much more instantaneous. It's more of a direct, less stretching than with the stainless steel twisted lines that I have, right?
Yeah. Solid lines are a nice feel, but you're exactly right. The maintenance is difficult. They're fragile. And a lot of people have just given up on them because they feel it's just not worth it. And the funny thing is, the airplanes that benefit the most are the little ones. Like my old time stunt airplanes weigh 30 something ounces. Those are the ones that really benefit from solids, and they benefit the most from spectra. So,
Wow, interesting. Have you ever tried those brass coated lines? The ones that from
I
the
have
Ukraine?
I have not those little 4-strand
Yeah.
ones from Eastern Europe. I have not.
I've used them. I bought some. I bought the first. I think I bought it from Tom Morris at the Nationals, and then I loved them. I was able to lengthen the length of the lines from what they were before, and the feel is better. It's better than the regular, stranded lines I was using before. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever I finally had a plane and trim, I would use that, and they are easy to wrap. They're easy to
Mm-hmm.
terminate, just like the stainless steel wires, and
Yeah,
so I like them, but I like the Spectra more than anything.
I like the Spectra because they're so light, and
Yeah.
it eliminates the whip. So
Yes.
all my current airplanes, except the big ones, I've switched them all to Spectra. Two old timers, the Pathfinder. I inherited a Ringmaster last year. I'll probably put that on Spectra. Yeah. No.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Hopefully it'll catch on. There's still some people at contests. I don't see Spectra. I just see myself and maybe you, and that's about it.
Yeah,
But hopefully
I
it'll
don't
catch
care.
on. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't care what everyone else uses. I have good reasons for using them myself, and it, the Lunar's never been on anything but Spectra.
Yeah. And that Lunar in your capable hands took first place, so not bad.
Yeah, yeah, it's that's going to be a good airplane. I think I'm
Yes.
going to fly it this weekend. I made another set of lines. I want to shorten the lines by about a foot and take some tip weight out because it's in the trimming is a process. It's getting there. It's certainly not where I want it, but I'm on my way.
Very good. Let me say hi to Steve Maganelli. Hey, Steve, how's it going? You're muted, though.
I'm good now. I'm
You
good.
are good now.
We didn't
Yes.
fly today, so I thought I'd see what we could talk about.
Yeah, yeah, we didn't fly, unfortunately. And Joe saw the field and he said there's puddles on the infield.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure our RC field's closed too this weekend. We had a contest scheduled too, so
Yeah.
so the weather does sometimes get us Southern Californians to the people that are in the frozen north or frozen east. We lose some too once in a while.
Yeah. So have you done any work on any new airplanes? I know you're just gonna get another
I've
plane
been
going.
I've been programming this week. I've been working on some things related to RC, but I'm learning Arduino better, and
Oh.
I did have a chat with my friend about what would be a good motor for a good narrow motor, and he suggested a 17 series in runner because it's probably about, well, it's 1.7-inch diameter OD stack, and that would fit in the nose of your pointy nose stunner. So probably next one's going to be something like that, a 17 series in runner. New motors. Right now, I've got a new motors 19 series in runner. So 17 series is a 1.7-inch outside diameter stack, or stack of what do you call it? Stator. So that's about how big it is. So a 2-inch spinner would cover it. Okay.
What plane is this 17 series motor going to go into?
It's probably going to go into my the one I'm the a wing out of one of the Brodak kits. The fuselage is going to be sort of a built up one that'll look something like the Mach-E M202, the full Gode.
Oh, very good.
little skinnier motor for it. So see how that goes. But it should turn KV is about the same, about 900. It should turn a 12.6 or a 12.5 just fine.
Very cool. Well, it looks like I think the next person came in was Mark Gerber, I believe. Miss, I got it. Oh, Howard Rush. Hey, Howard, how's it going?
Okay.
What you been up to?
Oh, nothing that I can't account for my time. I can't explain it.
Well, you're retired, so I mean, there's nothing.
Yeah, but we all are pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. I just recently retired, not too long ago. Yeah, so yeah, we were all pretty much retired, I believe. So Mark Gerber, how you doing, Mark?
Good, Charles. How are you?
I'm doing great.
You can hear me today?
I can hear you today. That's why I said I'm doing great. So what you been up to? Making more progress?
Working on my Bearcat.
All right. You gonna share some progress with us?
A little bit.
Oh, that'd be great.
So last time we were working on making the shells.
Yeah.
And come on here. I can advance the frame.
How about the arrow key? I don't hit the arrow key. Maybe the arrow.
I can't. The arrow key is covered up by your. There we go. Not there. Where'd it go?
I meant the arrow key on your keyboard.
That's what I was hitting. There we go.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, it works.
Anyway, last time I was molding the shells. Here's, I think, the last picture I showed.
Yeah.
And I got them done, and I got them on the way.
Oh, very cool.
So,
very cool. So is that a flap horn from Tom Morris, or did you make it yourself or some other source?
No, I got that one from Oki.
Oki, really?
Actually, I got it from Keith Trossel.
Okay. Very good. Have you seen Keith Trossel lately? He hasn't been in the show for a while.
Not since I got this horn about 3 weeks ago, I guess. But I needed a horn, so I put out a little broadcast on our text setup. We have them on all those flyers here in Colorado, and ask if anybody had one, because this is a 1 inch, 1.5 inch.
Okay.
And I had mistakenly ordered the 3/4 inch, 1 1/4 inch. And the 1 inch, 1.5 inch was what I had in my original Bearcat. I did not want to change because it worked out really well.
Right, right.
And then I had to use Howard's program to recalculate all the movements again.
Did you use it the first time?
Yes, I did. It worked really well. I was very pleased with the results.
Very cool. There we
Anyway,
go, Howard. See you.
What's that?
I was just saying, there you go, Howard.
Yeah.
Another positive report about your system.
Another satisfied customer.
Another satisfied customer. Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. And I know of Tim Jess and now Mark Gerber. Anybody else that has used your system that you know of? And
I've used it.
Oh, wow. All right. Another one. Ding, ding, ding.
Jim's the one that gave me the program in the first place.
Very good. Wow. Fantastic.
Anyway, I put out this plea for a control horn, and Keith texts me back. He says, I've got a bunch of them, so then I got sick, and it's another week or two till I could actually get down there, but I went down and got it from Keith. And I had, in the meantime, I'd ordered some from Oki, but Oki's famous for their slow production, and I wasn't counting on it coming. But about a week after I got the one from Keith and got it installed here, the one from Oki showed up. So it was only about a month, I think, from the time I ordered them until I got them. So that was a record for me getting stuff from them. So I've ordered some more horns. We'll see if they show up. But anyway, that's what I've been up to, is getting the wing in shape here and
Very good.
get ready to
Now,
start shooting it pretty soon.
what's that thing ahead of the leading edge of your wing now? What's that? What is that? That reddish thing?
This thing,
Not that one.
this,
Yeah, that. What is
that's the
that?
base to my lamp.
Oh, okay. I was just
There's
curious.
a lamp up here.
All right. I was just curious. I didn't recognize what it was.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you a few more questions about the Howard system. So you get the results from Howard system. So did you have to drill the hole in the bell crank where you attach the push rod? Did you have to drill that in a certain way? And how did you get that drill hole accurate?
Yeah, well, you can kind of iterate on it with Howard's system. And so I did some of this graphically because I had this plan in CAD, so I could do some of the drawings and rapidly reproduce the CAD and change the angles a little bit. So I could do some of it that way too, just to check what Howard's program was generating. But I pick a nominal position and I'd run the program and look and see where things went. And I'd move it a little bit and look and see if it was more linear or not. And being an engineer, linear is good. So
Right. Then you can take the CAD program now and send it to send cut send, and they'll make you a bell crank or a control horn.
Yeah, I was sharing that information with Steve Maganelli there about making the bell cranks and the flat and the control horns using send cut send.
Somewhere I have all the plots from Howard's program for this setup, but I suppose I could share those, but I don't know if they're all that interesting.
Well, they are for me.
I'm interested.
So
Well, let somebody else talk for a while. I'll go look for
All right,
them.
cool. I'll do that. Let me talk
Okay.
to Stuart Morrison. Hey, Stuart, thanks for coming in.
Hi, Charles.
What you been up to?
Oh, not a lot, not too much. Just a few little things in the shop. I'm starting to work on this cardle. So,
Oh,
letting
so you finished the Nobler?
no, not yet. Kind of going in between the two. So we'll bounce back and forth. So that's about it for me. Got some warmer weather up here though. Can't believe it. We're in the 40s today, which was something. So can't believe it this time of year. It's so warm.
Wow, I would think it was freezing cold.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but that's cool. If you think it's warm, that's great. Go back out there and do some flying.
Oh, when I say 40, that's Fahrenheit. So
Yeah, and I figured that's still
we'll be
cold.
talking to death.
That's still cold. Yes, I think it's like 56 degrees here. I see in the comment box we have a comment from Dennis Adamison. He's a member of our YouTube channel. Thank you, Dennis, for your support. And he says, like provided, join you in a little. And then Edward Carlisle, which I haven't seen you in a while, Edward. Good to see you. He said, like sent. Philip Bailey said, like provided. I look forward to seeing you guys in here. Hopefully, you guys can join us. And then Edward Carlisle says, 50s here in New Jersey. And then Plato says, about what's the cost to use and send? Oh, what's the cost to use send cut send for a bell crank? Do you have any idea? Have you done that, Howard? I think you talked about it, but I'm not sure if you've done that. Have you done that yet?
I've only done it for a carbon handle thing. It was what was it, $25 for a carbon chunk to put in the handle. 50 for two.
All right. That gives you some idea, Paul. Thank you for coming in, Paul. Appreciate that. And then Caffeine. Did he go away? I don't see Caffeine in the gallery. He must have ducked out. And then Dennis Adamison. Hey, Dennis, thanks for coming. I know that you were working on a plane for a VSC and You don't really have a whole lot of time to spend time with us, so I appreciate you coming in.
Well, I gotta see if I can show it off here a minute. Hang on a second.
Wow.
Sure.
So, let's see. Can't see what I'm doing here. Hang on
I see you got your official Stunt Hangar shirt on.
Oh, absolutely.
Got the uniform on.
There we go. All right. Here we go.
All right.
Wow. That looks
Hey.
really nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
You really did capture that picture. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. As I mentioned, this is the very first Gypsy that Jim Sahavi built was blue with blue flashes, blue and white flashes on it. And the paint scheme he had actually used on a Nobler. He had a blue Nobler trimmed like this. It's in the Windpal Stunt book, page 203 or so. And then he had another a green Nobler that followed the blue Nobler, and it was overall green. It had, I think the flashes were white with brown or something like that. And I thought it was odd. It didn't show up in Wynn's book because he flew that airplane for a lot of years. And when that one crashed, it was replaced with this. So this is a later version of the Gypsy packed, but it's with the color scheme from the original Gypsy, which I thought was a neat one because it's not very well known. I don't think a lot of people have seen it. So
No, I've never seen that color scheme. It's really pretty.
So anyhow, it's getting there.
So is that the Cuban timer you have in that?
It will, yeah. It's gonna have all the archaic stuff. Cuban timer. Let's see, Phoenix ESC. All those things that everybody's given up on. So
What's
Is
wrong
that
with
going to
it?
be a 4S system or a
yeah,
5?
or so. Basically, I'm going to be using the same power system that I currently use in the Mobest. Mobest is being about 30 square inches smaller, but probably a little heavier than this. So this thing's turning out real good weight-wise. I haven't weighed it since I started covering and stuff, but I had estimated that it could end up being about 50 ounces or so, which would make it about 4 ounces lighter than the Mobest.
Mhm.
So I figured 30 squares bigger and 4 ounces lighter would equate to pretty much the same power system. I'm going to fly it on the same line, 64 feet of Spectra and 65-pound Spin 5 that I like so much. So
Very good.
Enjoy. That's as light as it's ever going to be today.
yeah, it's as heavy as it's ever going to be. That's the beauty of electric.
I'm gonna get fuel soaked.
That's it. So
Very cool. Well, thanks for sharing your airplane. That's great. It looks great, Dennis.
sorry about that.
No worries. Actually, a little bit different, but I actually recycled my batteries. I took my LiPo batteries to Staples and I discharged them and recycled them. So I feel good about the environment, at least my carbon footprint. So that's something new for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be using the same batteries that you're using, the 3500s. And so I should have really a lot of capacity on that. I'm planning, normally most places I'm using those batteries, I charge them at like lithium ion to a slightly lower peak, which should help extend their life a little bit longer. And I'm not using them not pushing them very hard. So I should be in good shape that way. So
Very, very good.
hope so.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to travel 3,000 miles with a brand new airplane and see if it flies.
Oh my
What
goodness.
could go wrong? Huh?
What do you?
Not only that, I volunteered to fly warm-up flights with it. All right. So
Wow.
What do you-
Awesome. Awesome.
Just put it in a 737 Max 900 and live really dangerously.
yeah, what the hell? Right next to the plug. So
Right next to the door.
yeah.
Very good.
Oh well. No,
Do you transport that thing, Dennis? Do you have a box for it, or it doesn't look like a take-apart plane?
actually the wing comes off.
Oh, it does.
The wing comes off, but I'm going to be driving down there. I'll be
Oh,
taking it, by minivan. But even then, the removable wing really does help a lot as far as taking up space in the van. So
yep. Cool.
my wife and I are planning on doing taking a long route back and visiting some folks and seeing some places and stuff. So it's going to be important to get the airplanes out of the way best I can. So
You're gonna put it in the box. You're gonna put the fuselage and the wing in boxes.
no, not in a box. I think I can suspend them from the ceiling of the van. I can remove the landing gear, and then then the wing becomes a very it's just half a surfboard then. And then I'm hoping to bring the big flying wing for old time, and that one the fuselage comes off on that too, so I can actually, even though it's big, it can get into a pretty small thing. But one of the last things I did before covering is I had a built-in tail wheel on this thing, and I made it removable for the sole purpose of getting the tail wheel out of the way when I travel with it. So it's little things like that make a lot of difference. So,
Yeah, having tailwheels come off is an asset.
yeah, it helps when you're covering. It just helps when you're handling the airplane, not having that thing sticking out, when you're trying to work on just the fuselage. And then having the two parts, having the wing come off the fuselage makes it a lot easier to just cover and trim and stuff like that. So
Yeah, you
if
did
I'd
a
have
good
been
job.
if I had had a little more of a little more planning, I would have made the tail come off then, and then it would have been a true travel airplane, worthy of a box and all that kind of stuff. This here, I don't think so. There's just not much to it. So, but at any rate, it's progress.
Yeah, it
It's been
is.
it's been ready to cover for about 4 years. So it's nice to get it done. So
Now, that plane you built from a Brodak kit, or you did it
yeah,
scratch?
it was a Brodak kit, and I used it when I designed the electric conversion system for the Gypsy. Of course, I built it into an airplane and stuff like that. And once the airplane gets to a certain point, I started on the next conversion and all that. So it was kind of half built laying around, and I just got around to finishing it. But I got a bunch more airplanes like that I'm hoping to finish off this year. And I mean, I think I got something like 30 airplanes up in the rafters, and anywhere they range from full stunners to profiles to whatever else. And it's like, oh, geez, there's too darn many airplanes. You have to see if I can start sorting some of these things out and leaving them at the roadside stands. And I think I might send a donation to the Pampa president, see if he could find a home for it. So
Could you say that again?
Pampa president Mark Wise.
that's it.
Well, if you could bring a plane out here, I have some people that could use a plane. I actually had a friend call me who I haven't seen in several years, and he's interested in he's actually, for everybody listening, he's actually interested in a electric plane that's already built, because he doesn't have time or the space to build an electric plane. And he's
What kind of airplanes are you looking for?
Well, I was suggesting for him like a Brodak P40, because he doesn't know the pattern yet.
Mm-hmm.
So something that would be easy to repair. Not that you're going to crash, Todd, but those things happen.
Things happen, yes. So
that's what I was thinking. Something like that, something that size, so it's pretty stable.
Okay, yeah, full size. Call it a full size profile or something like that. Some little bit of durability in there. Okay.
Yeah. So, and he's willing to pay what it's worth too. So it's not like expecting something free.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't have anything like that to sell him, and no one in my circle of friends has any electric planes. There may be glow planes, but not electric planes that are already built and would be willing to part with. Unless Unless I totally have you mistaken, Steve.
No, I could probably fix one up for him. I can probably convert one pretty easily if that's what he wants to do. I don't know. I'm hoping to make my new one super light. I wrote down 50 ounces, and I'll see if I can be in that ballpark. I have no idea what my current one weighs, but I'm
And that shouldn't be too hard. That's your zero, right? That's what you normally fly, the
I have
zero.
no idea what that weighs. I've never weighed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
It
new one I
might
want to
be.
make light. Keep it light
That's,
where I can.
I wouldn't be surprised if your zero is less than 50 ounces.
Think so?
Yeah, even when it's all up, with the battery and everything,
Hmm.
it doesn't seem that heavy to me.
No, I've got a scale. I can find out if I really like want to. But I
Very
mean,
cool. Very cool. Yeah, I have a chat in the chat box. Boss Diver. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with you. He says very nice. I think he's referring to your plane. And I agree, Boss Diver. That's called a Gypsy, and the kit is manufactured by Brodak. So there's the kits are available. There's not an ARF and for that plane. You'd have to build it. So that's available. Can I ask you another question, Dennis, about
Sure.
your Gypsy? I know the conversion kit, it shows the wing being notched, the leading edge of the wing being notched.
Mm-hmm.
Is yours notched, or did you do it differently?
Hang on a second.
And it's notched for the battery, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll be coming to you, Brendan and Angstrom next. Okay. Oh, all right. The image, I thought the notch went all the way through. I see it's not all the way through. It's just
It's all the way through the wing.
It is all the way through.
oh, it is. Okay. At that angle, now I see. Okay. Very cool. Interesting. Well, thank you for
Yeah, you
sharing that with
basically
me.
build a light ply leading it or spar into the leading edge there. That's supposed to help restore it and restore any structure that's lost. So.
Very cool. Thank you so much, Dennis. Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the airplane is turning out pretty light. I'm anticipating that it might end up being a little bit nose heavy. So, but yeah, there's the back of the battery box there is open. So,
Okay. Oh, okay.
so
Very
yeah.
cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brandon and Angstrom, how you guys doing?
Hey everybody!
Hey.
I'm glad we got Dennis in the house because we finally can show off the color. We're working on our SV11 here, and
Right.
Dennis, you influenced Angstrom on a color here.
Or no. That's
Yeah,
my man.
we got kind of a flashy metallic. They say it's pearl. I know that's kind of
Yeah,
flashing a lot.
pearl wine or something like that.
Yeah, something of that nature. But
Yeah,
yeah, we
yeah.
got kind of a pinky colored plane that he's mostly going with here. And then we got kind of another darker maroon color we're working with too.
Terrific. That sounds great. Hey, Jim Hoffman, you see that? You see the color choices there?
Show me again.
Another pink fink out here. So
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but we got kind of a metallic pink going on here.
mm-hmm. That's great.
Pink airplanes fly great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you open the door, Dennis. You open the door, and we have a ton of monocoat we bought back in the day at like an auction and stuff, and this is what he wanted to run with.
It's like
cool.
when you buy a lot, something like Monaco or whatever. It's always, well, what do I do? I know what to do with the red and the white and the blue and the black and even the yellow. And then finally you start getting into the greens and eventually you end up into the metallic pinks, right? And stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, that's great. That's great. I'm looking forward to it. How's the bird coming together for you?
Going well. We just glued together the wing the other day, so we got the wing, and it was an ARF, so we were working with that. We got the bell crank changed up in there.
Very good.
So And we got our Kevlar lines from Trian had put that onto us back in the day. So we got Kevlar lead outs.
All right.
Yeah, we're just hoping to get this thing hopefully down to Joe Nall event in May. If not, then up and flying by Brodax, because this will be his builder model plane for the Nats. So we need to get it in the air and get some trial runs before going to the Nats.
Well, we got that's another nice thing about the Nats being in August. You get a lot of time we haven't had the last few years. So
yeah,
in fact, it's going to be kind of weird. I mean, Brodak is going to be like an early season. Well, I suppose it's same time, but it used to be like the jumping off point for the Nats. Now it's going to be basically just the start of a run before the Nats. So
yeah,
very good. How the flap extensions come out?
We took care of those. I don't know. My lighting is just so dang bright. Let me tone it down here. See if that helps anything. Yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
So, well, maybe not.
Right there.
Yeah,
right
there we go. So, yeah, it was a little on the short side, so we extended it out some, and then again put 1/64th on there to kind of clamp it together, because we're going to have to get a horn on there. And I just wanted it to be more solid than just an extension on there. So we got it, and part of the reason for using it too is that we'd already had the horn, or at least the connecting wire. I told you all last time we took the horn piece off, and so I just wanted to be able to use the same wire, because it's the exact spacing.
Right.
So,
the hole's already drilled and everything. Yeah.
Yep, the hole's already in there. We're good to go. And we'll have the other one. And then I know that some people said go ahead and don't notch it, but I don't know. We just went on the safe side. If we're going to cover this and coat it and stuff, we decided to go ahead and go with the notch, even though maybe not it was going to come into play. Just wanted to be safe than sorry.
Right.
So
looks good. Good job.
Yeah. If for the people who didn't join us last week, Angstrom spent all the time kind of monocoating these flaps, and then I was like, "Hey, we're short. Because we were using again, all the material was built for a full fuselage plane, and we're converting it down to a profile. So yeah, we had a giant gap between the flaps and the fuselage. So yeah, we covered the whole thing. And then Angstrom's like, "Oh, we got to cover the whole thing again, huh?" So trial and error.
And just for clarification, you guys aren't short. How tall are you guys, you and Angstrom?
I'm going to own it. I'm starting to do this in front of people now, in front of the entire audience. I am 6'7". I've always told people I'm 6'8". This guy is truly the 6'8" guy.
All right.
He's got me.
I imagine some mouse dropping. We just can't hear them bouncing off the desk. But yeah, that's amazing. Because you can't tell looking in the gallery how tall you guys are.
Yeah.
And you probably can't tell how short I am. I'm probably the shortest guy in here.
I know, Charles. To me, Charles, you're a giant. So
actually, most door frames are 6'8", and so I'm going to assume this bar ceiling here is 6'8", and you see my head's right by it. So,
Well, thanks for sharing. I appreciate it, you guys.
Yep.
No flying though lately, huh?
No, we got. I mean, it's been reasonable, but the kids got some electric scooters recently, and so they've been all about that. I mean, I think the last 3 or 4 days straight, we've gone out to some walking trails to ride electric scooters. So that's the interest for right this moment.
All right.
Hey, Hey, Angstrom.
Yeah.
Mark Weiss here. Listen, I need to, of all the things that I face at Brodak each year, the most puzzling is how to present you with an award where I don't look like Mighty Mouse. So I'm not sure what I'll do this year, but I hope you win some, and I'll figure it out from there. Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of Mighty Mouse,
you can see this. Hang on a second.
There we go.
Look at that.
We got
See
this
that?
at the beginners winning table at the Nats several years ago. And we've now converted it into our racing box for our racing planes. So we're
Like it.
starting to
Very
kind of
nice.
get that together. So
Awesome.
yeah, you mentioned Mighty Mouse, right on cue. There it is.
Very nice.
You
Indeed.
guys are great.
Hey, Mark, since you mentioned Brodax, one piece I will throw out there just for consideration on Brodax this year, with that one circle that is usually used for intermediate that has that giant drop off in the back.
Yeah.
There's usually such a low number of beginner and intermediates for each of the various events. It may be worth considering just throwing them all on the same circle. I mean, you could have two separate sets of judges,
Yeah.
or you can, lower it down to one. But with that drop off, I feel like there was, I don't know, it had some issues. And then there was also some judges that telling us that we had to stay level to the surface.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, to kind of
Okay.
bounce some of those concerns out, it just might be good to
Yeah, let's see what we can do. I know exactly what you're talking about. And,
yeah. So some maybe to think about this go around.
well, you know, it's been several years, and I've asked Buzz Brodak year after year to fix it, and I don't know what her problem is.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking like whatever that is, 15% grade or something, come on,
Yeah.
can't she just level that out?
I don't know. She's pretty stubborn.
We got to get Buzz in here sometime.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I don't know how to reach her. I mean, I've met her only
Oh, I
one
do.
time. Yeah, I know you do.
I'll invite her.
Yeah, that'd be great. We have to get her in here, and Naomi and Vicky, and have the women take over.
Yeah.
That would be a sure bet. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say they will too.
Yeah, get Deborah in here too. Have Deborah clean house also, Dennis.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. No, Jim Hoffman is looking for volunteers to help out at VSC, all of those things that get going and stuff like that. One of the things he was looking for was a photographer. And my wife takes literally hundreds of pictures a month. I mean, she takes pictures all the time. So, hey,
wow.
Yeah, I said, hey, Deb, can you take some pictures? She goes, oh, sure, I could do that. And she thought a minute. She says, how much do I get paid? I said,
Same as me.
well, you'll earn the admiration of the people. She says, hell with that. I make $40 an hour as a nurse. So,
Yeah.
so
Hey,
we're at the negotiation stage, shall we say? So,
All right.
I think we can. Hey, Jim, I don't remember. Did you ever have fact sheets or whatever on the airplane?
Yeah, the aircraft data sheets.
Yeah, thank you. Data sheets. Okay, you do have those.
Yeah. I ask
Okay.
everyone to fill them out, and then I put them in a tabular form and publish them.
Yeah, I would think that would be the hardest thing for a new photographer there or something like that, would be recording names and stuff like that. But if you get pictures of the airplanes, you got the people, AMA numbers and all that kind of stuff, it'll be pretty easy to sort it out. So
I know who everyone is. If she can take the photos and transfer them to me somehow.
yeah, we'll get her. I'm going to be taking them a laptop and we'll just get them transferred off her phone onto a thumb drive and into your waiting hands. So
Yeah, I'll have a computer there too. So
with little luck, it sounds like he said you got somebody to write up your article and everything like that, so it should all be pretty seamless. So
yep. Dennis Nunes agreed to do that. So the only thing is he asked me to provide the photos and the captions. So that's a bit of a job actually, but I can do that. I do it every year. So.
Hey, Danny, I take a lot of photos at Brodak, but people started complaining because they're all selfies.
Funny.
Yeah. Well, it always depends on who that selfie is too, Mark.
Yeah.
So
That's why they complain.
I was waiting for you to say it. Yeah. Okay.
So, Jim, you want to tell people what you're requesting for help for the VSC, what you need help with as far as volunteers?
We need the normal. We need judges, tabulators, poll testers, that type of thing. I've gotten, I sent out a cry for help this week, and the usual suspects came back, but I still need some more people. So it's that's the thing. I don't know if any of you have run big contests, but that's the thing that's going to end these big contests is lack of volunteers. And they have to be competent. They have to be, I use the word ready, willing, and able. They have to be reliable and they have to be able. I've been to contests where you have poor judging. That's miserable and you're likely not to return. So I have to be careful who I ask to judge. Those things. Pull testers. Hey, an incompetent pull tester can destroy your airplane. So you have to be very careful about the people you choose to do that and make sure they're trained. Those type of things. No.
Yep.
But Dennis was very quick to offer up his wife, so I appreciate that. Dennis offered also to do a lot of work.
Yeah.
Awesome, Dennis. Fantastic.
If I get my wife's permission. So.
Yeah. The thing that I try not to do is I try not to be a judge because I'm every 10, 15 minutes, something comes up and I need to address.
Exactly.
And I can't be a judge.
Yeah, it's hard to do that. So, but you're spot on though. It's and and the judging of course is a hard thing to do and everything like that. But the it's all the other things, the tabulating and stuff like that, that makes it and if we all just pitch in and help a little bit, that's all it takes.
That's the thing. If everybody does just a little, it adds up.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And there's people behind the scenes that they don't see. Guys like Lou Wolgast and John Callentine and Rick Green and Warren T. Hart. They do so much behind the scenes that aren't obvious to people. So, looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. So.
Let me bring up Mark Wise, and then after Mark Wise, be Philip Bailey.
Hi, thank you, Charles. Hey, guys. I'm going to continue on Jim's theme. It seems like the guys who are busiest is okay with other people who are not busy. And Jim volunteered to be one of our circle managers at the World Championships.
All right.
It's always those people that I guess they know how important it is, and they're willing to make the trip and do what others either can or won't do. But Paul Walker said that to me, Jim, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. He said, "Mark, it won't be a lack of judges that'll end these contests. It'll be a lack of volunteers." And I understand that. I'm entering. Well, I'm not sure I ever exit, but I'm entering a really busy time for me and for Pampa. Just a lot of things going on, all of them good. And I'm trying to, last year, just about this time, it dawned on me that I didn't really want to be the face of Pampa. I just wanted to be the president of Pampa, and that the idea should come from a lot of different people. But if you're not shy of making decisions, that sometimes doesn't happen. So I started forming committees. Matter of fact, Dennis is on one. Dennis is on the judging committee. And we got about 4 of them running right now and really, really running well. So next Thursday, I have a Zoom meeting with all the district directors. Matter of fact, everyone on the leadership team at Pampa. We have 6 more committees we're going to start. And first I'll ask for volunteers, and then I won't ask for volunteers. But all good things, all things very important to Pampa. I just think we're at a very important time. I hope you guys that are Pampa members got an invitation to our first PMO.
I did.
and that's our first Pampa members only. That started going out from Chris Rudd. So I would think in a few days, everyone will have theirs. And I'll talk about it a little bit more, but one of the things I've wanted to do is put extra value into a Pampa membership. To me, it just can't be a magazine or a newsletter. So we're going to start carving out things that are only going to be accessible to Pampa members. And I think that's only right because the Pampa members do a lot of work and Pampa runs the Nats. And at some point, I'd like people that are not taking advantage of Pampa to cough up the fee of $40 a year and join in and help out and do those kind of things. Other things going on. I've asked for a meeting at AMA. It won't be at AMA, but with Chad Boudreaux, the executive director, and Rich Hansen, and it's all about relationships between Pampa and AMA. I just feel like there's a crack in the dam, and the water's not coming in my direction. And Chad was open and said, "Here are the things that we do that you probably don't know, and here are the things that we don't do that you're absolutely right." And this came about because of all this committee work and all the efforts to recruit. And I said to myself, why am I doing this? Why isn't AMA doing this? Isn't that their job to grow the hobby? So I'm looking forward to it. I hope it happens in the next couple of weeks. To be in my position, at least if you want to make a change, you have to be willing to get into the ring and put on the gloves and be a gentleman about it, but be strong about it. Otherwise, you don't get what you're looking for. So a couple of things that I'm very much involved with. One, of course, is Brodak. Another one is Triple Tree. And I guess I got spoiled working with the people at Triple Tree because when I ask them to do something and they think it's, why not, they do it. You don't have to jump through hoops there. And one of the things they changed this year was that the week will end Friday instead of Saturday. And I spoke to my friends there, and executive director told me, "Mark, let me tell you why we had to do that. The vendors leave Friday. We don't pay for people. We don't have volunteers in the welcome center. And then you get people that come in because we advertise you can watch flying on Saturday and there's no one here." I said, "Well, it kind of screws me up a little bit." And he said, "Do you want to fly on Saturday? Well, you want to have your whole gang there on a Saturday?" I said, "If I could." He said, "You got it. You got it." I mean, I love that. We're bringing people into Triple Tree and we have a great time and they appreciate what we're doing. So if you look on the Triple Tree website, it's going to say Friday to Friday, which I think may be the 10th to the 17th. Friday to Friday. For us, it's the 18th. And we'll probably be the only ones there, which is really nice. So I'm working on that with Will. We're going to have the same contest we had last year, profile M30, OTS if guys show up, and Pampa PA on Saturday. The first weekend is going to be FAI combat. And it's pretty exciting to see these guys fly. They know what they're doing. One change we're making, stunt camp has become very popular down there. We have 4 of the top people in the country and they'll watch you fly. Then they'll evaluate you face to face. And then you come back later and you get in front of another judge. So when you have guys like Dave Fitzgerald, Derek Barry, Randy Smith, and that quality of pilot, you're going to learn something. But the other thing that we're going to do this year, we're going to have the equivalent of classroom pilot training. How do you trim? Someone asked me, how do you set up an electric plane? It's great if you're a good pilot or you're learning to be a good pilot, but there's certain things that people just don't know, and we have the talent to do that. So we're looking forward to that. Brodak's the same week it normally is. Will and I are it's our play, and I love working with the guy, and it's fun. And we look forward to a big turnout. Paul Walker and I and Bill Lee are working on the World Championships. I'm not about to say that's fun. And the reason I said that we do this is because of 3 guys who qualified. I mean, that's why you do it. Whether it's work or not, if 3 guys make the team and an alternate, it'd be hell if you don't have the championship. So we're going to do that. And like Dennis pointed out, the Nats is going to be late, and that's the reason. And I get involved in the Nats. So like Jim and some others here, and Denny and others, and Charles, when I go to sleep at night, I feel pretty good about my contributions. I think I'm doing my part. And the funny thing is, at the end of that, it makes you feel pretty good. Giving is better than getting, whether you realize it or not. So I hope Pampa members will dial in, and we can handle up to 200 viewers. So I'm hoping we have a standing room only crowd. It'll be Joe Daly, who's getting really good at molding. He builds light, he builds straight, and he doesn't waste any time. A week ago, I drove to Northern Virginia, and with Scott Richland's group in District 4, and watched Tim Stagg, who's just a very gifted builder and a good flyer, show what he's doing with some thin underlayment. I think I mentioned this last week. That was a good presentation. We're going to do it again. And he's going to do it live. So we have a bunch of topics coming, but if there's something you want to see from us that you think other people would be really interested in, just let me know. Okay, right now I'm thinking quarterly. Every quarter we'll have someone, and it'll be someone who absolutely is at the top of the game. And then it'll be a Q&A. And we're going to do more things like that to make Pampa members feel like, you know what, this is a good organization. So lots going on. AMA World, Brodak. I wish I could get out to VSC. I really do. One year I will. I'll either be in a coffin or I'll drive, whichever comes first. So that's it from the Weiss House on Pennsylvania Avenue.
Boo, yes. Boo, yes.
I've been waiting for
Very
that
much.
chance to, so that's what's going on. And if you need to reach me, email or phone, I'm not that hard to get a hold of. So thank you, Charles.
You're welcome. Hey, Philip Bailey, how you doing?
Doing good. Been had a pretty good week. Have been making a little progress on the 11. Got it just about ready to. I'm starting to look for monocoat or Econocoat or what the heck ever it's going to be. I'm just going to go to the hobby shop, and anything that looks like it's close enough, I can let it slide. I'm going to put it on there. But got it by the short hairs now. We just waiting to get some parts in, a new motor and some other pieces in. Wait a minute, that's the 11's motor's fine. Got to get a spinner. I got to get a 3-blade spinner cut, and got it ordered. It just is taking forever. It must be coming from China. It's been 3 weeks. I don't have it yet, but anyway, we're making some progress finally. I'm
Hey,
kind of
Phil?
happy about that. Yes, sir.
I've been real lucky finding monocoat and ultra coat at swap meets.
I have too, but we just haven't had any in this area. There's
Yeah.
usually one in January. There's usually one in late February. I've heard of nothing until March. There's one in Lexington, which is 5 miles from my house. But I don't know what happened to Burlington. I don't know what happened to I don't know, Mark. I don't know what's going on, but
I bet you could find it in the one in Georgia at Perry.
I'm planning to go to that March 1st,
Yeah.
right around March 1st. I'm planning to go to that.
We
So,
go to one up in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, and it's been a gold mine if you're willing to walk around and look for things.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
I don't have a choice. I mean, it's you got to find something that makes this thing work. And I'm also trying to get in touch with a couple people about buying some new parts. I hate to buy a new timer in ESC when I know the new ESC is coming out Paul told me last week, it's coming out in August. But on the other hand, I've got to get to August and I've got to get practiced up. to go to some of these contests. So I'm going to order one, see what happens.
Yeah.
And then we get that done. Then I'll have to get on here and bug a few people for another one of those boards. I forgot what it's called. But anyway, the tut board and the other board that goes with it. Howard got me the other board, and the two go together and work really nice. So I got to get that going. But anyway, I've got one plane that flies really well, but I hate to fly the Revolutions a whole lot until we get some prettier weather, because honestly, I'm getting gun shy of cold weather.
Oh yeah.
I know it was a crack in the circuit board. I found it. I CA'd it back together, and I went in, stripped down some little pieces of wire and repaired it. Three three lands were covered, and put that all back together and took it out and shot it with a cool spray, and it works now. I don't know how I didn't know that before, but I never taken the plastic off of it. And the Velcro that was on the plastic to hold it in place covered the cracks. I never knew that it was cracked. Somebody's leaving or somebody?
No, Jonathan Crowder waved at me or waved at me, and I just waved back to him. I should have went like this.
Yeah. Way backwards, he's down under. So
that's right. Exactly.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. But anyway, it's we're making a little progress for a change. Feel like we're getting somewhere.
No.
And I got in touch with Send Cut Send, and I need to ask Howard a couple questions, but I'll text you tomorrow and send it to you.
Well,
I think go ahead.
You could ask me now. I was going to ask you what stuff you need. You mentioned the bike.
They said that I'm going to get a new timer ESC tut board and that other board that goes with it. Get the whole thing. I'm just going to put all new guts in the ombre.
The other board that goes with it comes from me.
I figured that. I just don't know what to call it.
Well, bycast.
A what?
Battery indicating and crew alerting system. Bycast.
Bycast. Okay.
It's an airline joke. Airplane joke.
Okay. Okay.
And the tut. See if you get the tut first. If you get the tut, I'll fix you up with a bycast. But
if I can get a hold of him, I think he's already told me to sell me one, but I haven't been able to get in touch with him again.
Oh,
but
okay.
I'll get him. If nothing else, I'll call Charles to get his number.
About the spinner.
Yeah.
You want a blade spinner?
It's a you're not gonna like this. It's to fit an SV11, and I can't remember the size, whether it's 2 or 2 1/4. What is it, Charles? Fits an SV11.
I believe it's a 2-inch.
2-inch? Okay, a 2-inch, 3-blade reverse pitch or reverse rotation.
Backwards prop. Okay, what prop?
Yeah. I'm using a MAS 3-blade. God, I forgot the pitch. I think it's 6. I'll go downstairs and look at one in a minute. But
you got a broken one?
Yeah, I do.
Well, send it to me and I'll see if it fits the spinner. I got. If it's so, I'll send you a spinner.
Okay.
Namely,
I'll do that.
I need to print one.
Oh, okay.
Specify color.
Black.
Good.
Yeah, makes it easy. Makes it easy. I just
Howard, do you have a spinning with the holes inlets when it's reverse, so the air goes through the through the spinner? Do you have those type of spinners you can make?
No. Do you know for sure what direction the air is going? Do you know for sure what direction the air should go?
Well, I don't know. It's a reverse. I run a reverse prop.
No.
2-blade prop right now.
I read an article from oh God, it's heck getting old.
Yeah.
The guy that does the Max B, Igor Berger.
Igor.
And he's saying that the air comes through the cowling, through the motor, and out around the spinner. So don't make your spinner so tight. And I wonder if that's real or if it's a joke or what, because that's weird. It's coming out against the airflow. That's crazy.
It comes out behind the spinner. It's a low pressure place in the airplane. If Igor says something, you can pretty well take it to the bank.
Yeah, I just wonder, does that not mean the air is going to end up going right back down in the cowling and be recycled again? Hot air. I don't know. I don't know what to think. But Igor's got some ideas that they're out there, but they seem to work. I mean, he is world champ again. So I'm not gonna argue with him. I just, that gives me, kind of blows my mind, but we'll go with it. But anyway, I'm just trying to get some new stuff to get the 11 going, and then I've got the Ombre is finally going to be flying this summer. We hope. That's my plan anyway. If I ever get a chance to paint it, I've got an Ombre, Tom Looper's Ombre design that's the elliptical 60 size. It's ready to paint, and I've just got to get it done. It's set up for a 3515 and a timer and ESC. So we're going to try to get that flying. And instead of doing all the fancy openings, I watched several of the guys have been showing some of their new cowlings. And then I watched Howard at the Nationals, and I watched Mr. Weiss with his 47. And I said, I think they got an idea. Flip the sucker on its back, pull the cowl off like we've always done, change the battery, and you're looking at everything. If there's something you need to get to, it's right there. So that's the way I did it. And I'm surprised how easy it worked out. It really surprised me. But it uses Bob Hunt's hold down system to hold the battery in it. And I'm tired of Velcro. I'm not doing that again if I can help it. But working on that. And then I've got a few other little irons in the fire. I'll show you when I get them far enough along to know if they're going to work or not. But just playing, having a good time. Finally got some time to get down there and just experiment and play a little bit. But I'm the world's worst at spending time building little prototypes of a section or a something, a little piece to make sure it'll work before I go ahead and cut the whole flap to make it work or whatever piece. I want to make a removable wing, and I think I'm going to have removable flaps. But I'm going to do it the way one of the Russian team guys showed me how they do theirs a few years ago. And it's quite different. If I can make it work, I'll show it to you. But so far, it's just an idea. I've got pictures of his, and it was so neat. It works a lot like Sparky's system does. Well, heck, I'll tell you how it works. You take a piece of piano wire that looks like just a U, like a horseshoe, only at squared corners. You put one end of it in some plywood. You take that plywood and slide it up in the trailing edge of the wing. But he said, when you do this, be sure you do it on a flat plate, not a round dowel, because you don't want it to turn. But it goes in the back end of the flap, which comes out and just sticks over. Now, when you put your flap on, you put your flap on the horn like it's always gone. Then the wing comes back and meets that, and you slide the wing in and put a screw in it, you're together. If you want to change the flap rates or the flap size or whatever, you take it off every time you take your wing off, go work on it. But I don't know. I built a little model and played with it in the backyard. It was doing fine until I crashed it. I forgot we'd put some stuff in the backyard my bass boat has never been in the backyard. It's always been in the driveway or the side yard. And I put it in the backyard by the new shop, and I forgot it was there, and the tongue stuck out about that much too much. So anyway.
Oh man, that's too bad. Oh,
well, I learned what I needed to learn. It works, and it stayed on. So that's all I needed. I was playing with a wing that instead of being slanted way back, it's slanted way forward, and put flaps on that, which it wasn't designed to have. The one I saw didn't have flaps, but being halfway a nutcase, I decided, well, if you're going to do this, why not try that too? And it might really be something. And it was. It flew really well, but it wasn't built to collide with a boat. So, a trailer actually. But I do dumb things once in a while.
Once in a while, just as long as you
Yeah,
learn from
yeah.
it, as long as you learn from it.
Yeah, that's the truth. Well, I'm gonna have to get off here because I got a dog that hasn't been out in a
All right.
while, and he's over here crying at me. So, guys, have a great week.
Thank
Let's
you very
see.
much for coming in. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. See you Monday. Everybody
See you
stay out of
Monday.
trouble.
All right,
Yes,
we'll
sir.
do.
Mhm.
Hey, Howard,
Bye-bye.
I have a question for you, Howard, because my flying buddy here, Steve Magadelli, is here, and he maybe not be familiar with your TUT and your bycast. Can you explain what that does? Because he has a climb and dive timer
Yeah.
on his plane now, and he might appreciate what you have to explain.
The TUT is Tim's Universal Timer. And it works as a standalone timer, but it also has a slow takeoff mode, and it has a gyro in it that enables you to do a loop kill at the end of the flight. And the bycast tells you if you got a fresh battery installed. Namely, it has a light that comes on when the battery's charged. And then it enunciates various mode changes, like it tells you when the loop kill's armed at the end of the flight.
Does it try to govern the power during the flight?
No,
No. Okay.
no, just a straight timer. Well, but it will turn the control over to something that does. And in my case, it turns the control over to an Igor timer
Oh, I don't know what that is.
after the slow.
Well, I like the climb and dive one because you can adjust the gain for climb, the gain for dive, all the usual, the gross amount of time, how much time you have to run to the handle, how long it runs full bore to tell you it's about to shut off, and it's been nice. It's been it's based on a Seed Studio, a processor with a board that the guy himself makes. You got to solder them together, and it's pretty nice. I'm happy with it. I just just looked through through what was available, and I said, oh, this looks like it's worth a try, and I'm pretty happy with it.
I'd be interested in seeing his control off.
Is what?
The formulas he uses for the controls.
Well, I think it's actually open source. You can look at
Yeah.
it if you have access to GitHub. I think it's on there. But
I used
basically, it's got Excel, huh?
I used to. I forget how to use it. But
I know GitHub is a pain in the butt, that's for sure. I've never tried it, but it has it's got basically the accelerometers in it, and it uses both centripetal and up and down. You basically have to tell it which way is forward and which way is outboard for it to work. So it work the accelerometers work in two axes, yeah. And I got the up gain up to 8, started off at 6, and the down gain I left at 6, and the times I just made it, you can definitely run out to the handle in 25 seconds, but you don't trip. And
I'm older. I set mine at 40.
you what?
He's
I'm
older.
older. Yeah, I set mine at 40.
Okay. Well, what do you usually I make Charles start it, and then we both stand there for 25 seconds, to run out and do it, and
Yeah.
then it starts. You have to fly 2 laps at a level in order for it to calibrate the speed, and then it basically moves the speed. So
That's cool.
yeah, it's pretty neat. I was wondering if anyone's ever built a timer based on a Pitot Pro, basically an airspeed governor. And I got a lot of no one's ever tried that before, but maybe that might be something interesting to keep it, basically get a constant speed through the various flight envelopes.
Your audio is kind of bad, Howard. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, okay. I'm not muted. I don't think you necessarily want to hold airspeed.
You don't?
No, which is good because it's hard to measure.
Well, you don't really care about measuring it. I mean, you basically the climb and dive timer it's got an RPM governor that gives you a certain, well, not airspeed, certain speed, a prop speed, and then it keeps that, it governs that, and then it adds more to the climbs and takes them off the dives. I think I have mine. I'm flying at 11, 5.5. I think it's governed at 9,400 RPM, which if there was no slippage would give me about a 5.8 second lap on 60-foot lines. And it actually is a little bit slower. Charles clocked at about 6 seconds, which is
That's
good.
pretty.
Yeah.
Don't know what you said, Howard. This did not.
Yeah, that's pretty pokey.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's pretty
Pokey?
slow. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm new and I'm
Yeah.
old too.
Probably won't be a problem until you start doing your overhead maneuvers. Then you'll want to speed it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the horizontal movies are fine at that slow speeds, but overhead maneuvers, not so much. So
Flat 8, it might be a little challenging to do a loop. It would be.
no, it does loops. It loops fine. It loops fine inside and out. Flies fine. But he hasn't done anything overhead yet. So I mean, that's fine, and he's new. And but he has experience flying planes. He's an experienced, accomplished pattern RC flyer, so he understands. Let me
the line tension gods, Charles, that get me. The line, where's my line tension? That's
you'll get it with speed. That's probably how you're gonna get it. When you speed your plane up,
okay.
you get your line tension. Let me jump to Jonathan Carradas, and then we'll go to Dennis Nunes and then Sparky. Hey Jonathan, thanks for coming in. What you been up to?
How you guys? Oh, just plodding along. We've had a bit of a bad forecast for today, although it turned out fine. We could have flown maybe tomorrow, but I won't be flying. I'm in a moon boot.
You're in a moon boot. What is that?
Yeah. Oh, it's a what we put on guys when they break their ankle or it's badly strained their ankle. And it may be fractured, but the experts got to look at it on Monday. But in the meantime, I'm in a moon boot, and so I don't think I'll be flying tomorrow. But I might go up to the airfield. And I found a good solution to, you know how you get those engines that just don't, no matter what you do, you can't get them to run right.
You got there. Is that a enforcer? What is that?
A wooden mallet. I found it out in the garage, and I thought that's just what I need. A good persuasion.
Yeah, persuader. Yeah. When we're trying to start our motors out here, we threaten to get the persuader, which is the electric starter.
And Marion's just walked in. I've got to go and help get the meal on, but I'll disappear and come back. But
just before wait, Jonathan, before you go, did you get that fixed? That problem?
Oh, g'day, Sparky. Is that Sparky I can hear?
Yeah, that's Sparky, yes.
Yeah, Sparky, I didn't have time to read it when I came in a minute ago. I've been trying to catch up with you because I wanted to give you a super chat for that calendar. And whenever I go in, there's been a problem. I couldn't get in because of I don't know what the hell's going on. But anyway, I got it sorted this morning, and I watched you and Steve. And I was about to send a super chat, and then stuff happened here, and you closed up. So I will tomorrow. But I got it sorted anyway. I don't know what the hell happened, but yeah, the screen was just blank. It was just you on the screen, which was fine, but I couldn't say anything. But here's my Hurricane wing so far. Managed to get a bit more done on it.
Oh, very good. Oh, well, look at that.
She's a big one.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah.
Nice.
She's about 60 inches long, and it's pretty light so far. I'm pretty happy with it. I haven't weighed it. I'm about to, but I'll let you know how much it weighs, but it's coming along real good. So I better go and help get the the dinner on, and I'll come back. You guys going to keep going for a while?
Yeah, we'll be going for a while.
Okay.
Hey, Jonathan. Jonathan, before you go, did you write that poem on Stunt Hangar?
Yeah, I did.
That was really nice.
Oh, thanks. Who's that? I can't.
Mark Wise. That's Mark
Oh, Mark.
Wise.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, no, yeah, they're kind of. I've had a few mates that have passed away lately, and I thought, oh, it just gave me a few ideas to write that. So, look, thank you very much. I appreciate that. But it's a sad time, you know. They don't tell you about this stuff when you're at school, do they? You know that as you get older, it's not for sissies. When your mates start, you know, disappearing, it's not like D-Day, but it's almost as bad.
Mm,
You know, hopefully they go peacefully.
yeah.
But it certainly has the same impact on their comrades, you know, that are left behind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
And
That's
by
why
the
we've got to
way,
stick, guys.
and by the way, John, I know you're trying to get away, but the calendar, Gary Sinclair. Hey, Gary. He probably is asleep. But Gary Sinclair is when you probably want to help for the calendar because he sent them out the shipping.
Yeah.
He did it all up front. So if you
Yes, I appreciate that.
if you want to PM me, I can get you his information, and then you can get the money to for the calendar. I still want super chats for the show and for the channel, but the calendars, if you want to help Gary out, he paid for the shipping and manufacturing out of his own pocket.
That's correct.
Okay, well, I'll get back to Gary to Gary first, and then I'll go from there. But I'd already, okay, I'll sort it out.
Yeah, Gary
Okay.
Sinclair. All right, Jonathan. I'll see you when you come back.
I'll be back in a couple of minutes.
All right, sounds good.
God willing.
God willing. Please come back.
Cheers.
And Dennis Nunes, I haven't seen you in such a long time. Then I'll be with you, Sparky. Hey, Dennis, how you doing?
Doing good. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you all right. Yeah, what you been up to?
Oh, about 5'7" last time I checked.
Very good. Very good. Haven't grown any. All right.
But I finally finished the plane.
Oh, you got some trim on it. Let me make it big.
And let's see if I can get this camera to work.
Oh, look at that.
No, I don't know. I posted some stuff on Facebook.
That looks nice.
And in fact, I wrote a little article about the finishing of this. And because, like I said, I finished it up on a Thursday, and we headed down to Tucson on Friday, and I flew it Saturday. So
very nice. That looks good, Dennis.
So that's it. Took a little doing, but weather didn't cooperate with us because it's so cold and humid. Probably the worst conditions you could have for flying or applying butyrate dope. So even with retarder, we had some trouble, but ended up in a warm garage with some heaters going, and we got it done. So some of the little details.
Very nice, Uncle Jimmy. So Uncle Jimmy helped you with the graphics?
Yes, yeah. We spent a great deal of time with the graphics, and then once we got the mask made, getting those on, and then painting and everything. I gotta get about I would say right now about 250 hours just in the finishing of it.
Wow.
To get it where it is right now. Still got a little work to do, but very pleased with how it came out.
You should be. It looks great. I mean, it looks really pretty. Now, who made the masks for you?
Jimmy has a guy in North Carolina. I can't think of his name that did them, and so that's what we went with, and it worked out really, really well. But it's not all that easy, that's for sure. This is the first time I used paint masks to try to do a paint scheme, and Jimmy said, "Oh, it's easy." No, it's not. It's a lot of work, but it came out pretty good.
It looks great. Very pretty. Wow.
So I flew it at the Southwest Regionals. Only got one official flight in there. Then I had a battery lead that broke on the ESC side, and so that I couldn't get my second flight in. But I'm really happy the way it flies. It flies really good. It flies a lot better than I do.
Wow, that's what you want.
So hopefully we'll see more. You'll see more of it at the local contest.
Yeah,
and I'll be taking it hopefully to the Nats.
What'd you get for appearance points?
I got 18.
Very, very nice.
Very nice. Whose plane's that? That's lovely.
Dennis Nunes.
Oh, lovely,
It's-
Dennis.
That's the one I showed back. I think it was back in April when it was being built, and it's finally finished.
Nice, real good.
Yeah, very, very nice. Very, very nice.
Anyway, I just wanted to show it.
Well,
Again, you go
thank
out
you
to
for showing it.
Yeah, you go out to Facebook on my page. There's some information about it, more information about it. A nice little article we wrote on how to use paint mask and what happened down at Tucson at the Southwest Regionals.
So, what kind
Post
of
it on
paint is?
Stunt Hangar.
What's that, Spark?
Post it on Stunt Hangar. Some of it's Facebook.
Yeah, I'm going to. The document's too big. I got to put a link to my Dropbox for it. So, yeah, it'll be
How
on
big
there
is
pretty
the
soon.
document? You got unlimited. I mean, it's got to be awful big. It's unlimited.
Pages. It's 31 pages, and it's the Word document's about 15 megabytes.
Well, put it in PDF and upload it to the server.
Okay, well, every time I do that, it says it's limited as to the number of space I can put. Do I do it under the files for it, or just a normal post?
Go to files. After you make a post, telling what it is, go to files and then upload a PDF to the server so they can download the whole story.
Okay. Because I think the PDF is about 5 megabytes. So if your server can handle, that's fine. I'll do that.
It's powered by the dark side, is it? Not an IC, not a real motor.
It's electric. It's electric.
It
has a real motor.
Plane. Still beautiful. I love the red.
Yeah, we had to do some dealing and wheeling on the colors. We had another set of colors we wanted to use, but it just didn't work out, and so we went with these, and we're glad we did.
Can you do a close up of that cartoon on the nose?
It has a head too. Very cool.
Good. That's
I didn't
real
know it had
good.
a handle, Dennis. That is very cool.
That's clever.
Yeah.
Now, where did you get the pilot at? That duck? Where did you get that duck?
I found on one of those Thingiverse or whatever it is for 3D printing, and they had a bunch of characters, and one of them they had was Daffy, and he's actually about a 6-inch tall character that we whacked off at the shoulders.
See you later, Mark.
So that's what's in there. It's kind of hard to see, but
oh,
he's
that's
got
cool.
his little tongue hanging out and everything. He's pointing.
Oh, very cool. That is very cool.
Very good.
And another question: what kind of paint is that, Dennis?
It's all butyrate dope.
All right, okay, from
Randolph.
Randolph. All right, very good. Looks very good, Dennis. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah,
beautiful
not a problem.
plane.
Thank you.
Really nice.
Awesome. And Mark Gerber, I'll be with you shortly. And then we have Sparky. Hey, Sparky, what you been up to?
Yeah, I helped Steve today with his stuff. He's came over and started doping and getting his stuff ready to cover. And I worked on my airplane a little bit. I've been putting in the controls, and I just soldered on the controls for the bell crank here.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
So I mean, it's slow. I haven't really been working on it. Because normally I could knock this out in a couple of weeks, but we're about 30. No, yeah, it's about 39 days old. What's the date today? 6. It's the 9th. So it's 40 days old. And I will from one Steve. Who is one Steve?
That's Steve Manganelli.
Oh, okay. So I'll get back on it here a little harder, but I've got things to do around here, and I've been helping Steve and just trying to keep things together.
Life goes on.
Yeah.
I understand it. Hey, Dennis Nunes, Colin McCallum said thumbs up on your paint on your plane.
Oh, thank you.
Very nice.
Very nice. Wow, that's great. That's very good. And Mark Gerber, I think it's a good time. I know Howard has walked away from his camera. I mean, from us temporarily, but go ahead and share with us the the specs on the Bearcat.
Okay, I got this program from Jim Hoffman about 3 years ago. That's when I found out about it. And of course, Jim had gotten it from Howard. And then you really kind of just end up adjusting some of the numbers a little bit one way and then the other and see how it affects things. This is the input sheet Howard showed. And like, well, one thing is I had to plan in CAD, so it was real easy to measure dimensions and determine the coordinates of each of these points. So
Right.
it's not quite as easy if you have a paper plan or if you're trying to measure the actual airplane. But anyway, and one of the things I could play with was the bell crank pushrod arm radius, how far the pushrod is out on the bell crank.
Where's that at again? Where's that at?
Right here.
Okay, all right.
Wow,
So that hole is over an inch away from the pivot point?
Right.
Wow.
That's big.
Yeah.
It's a 4-inch bell crank, so it's plenty of size.
And then the
That's-
horn, how tall is your flap horn? Where is that?
It's an inch and a half.
Okay.
Here's and then here are the degrees of bend in the different holes where they are relative to straight up and down.
All right.
And presuming I didn't make any sign errors or anything.
That's what I was thinking.
I got to figure out how to get to the next sheet here.
Which sheet is that?
That one.
There you are.
So here's the one that tells you your linearity.
Mm.
And again, you can experiment with the numbers you put into that first table.
Yeah, pretty constant.
If you think it's not straight enough, you can see if you can make it straighter.
Yeah, looks like you're not moving the bell crank far enough, or very far. That might be far enough.
Say that again, Howard.
You're only moving the bell crank 45 degrees.
Right, yeah.
You're happy with that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to move it too far because then I get into nonlinearities.
You don't worry about bell crank nonlinear. Oh, the other nonlinearity. Yeah. That's why you got to fiddle with the numbers.
Well, then this particular airplane has dihedral. And so then you get into the situation of some people like to use two different horns. Some people, like Al Raby, like to bend the horn.
Or the Lucky Box.
Yeah. But what Keith Trossel does, and what I did, was you just make the horn go straight across, and you make sure that the horn intersects right into the flap, right at the hinge line where it comes through. And that'll give you 20, 30 degrees of motion without having a whole lot of resistance. Just with, very slight tolerance in the holes and in.
That doesn't keep you from moving the bell crank farther.
No. But anyway, my point is that last week, I think it was, or maybe the week before, Paul was talking about 20 degrees was the maximum flap deflection they were finding.
Yeah, probably.
And I think that's, what Keith was emphasizing too. And I kind of agree that you really don't want the flaps to go that far. So if what happens in the first 20 degrees is really what counts.
Yes. Gary, where did you get these? Is this what you're putting into your feeding into your tiger cat? You rebuild?
Well, my philosophy on the rebuild is to build it exactly like the first one because the first one flew really well.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. Well, you don't want to mess with that.
Yeah,
But
and so
were the numbers very similar?
they're as identical as I can get them.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, good.
And I was saying earlier that I didn't want to change the flap horn. I didn't have the same flap horn. I didn't want to change it because then I'd have to
Yeah.
readjust all the calculations. So I waited till I could find a flap horn that was identical to the first one I had.
Sure.
Show the mechanical advantage sheet.
I like that. That's good.
Oh, you got the, yeah. You need to get the new version of the program. And thereby hangs the tail. See, is that flaps on the bottom or is that elevator?
That's flap, I guess.
That's flap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blue, yeah. What's this line here, Howard? This wiggly line? Or shouldn't I ask?
Well,
human error.
It's a long story, which you probably would find amusing. You know how your mother told you not to take the derivative of things?
Yeah.
Because it's noisy? Well, there's something there that's noisy. Now, why with these things that are all sines and cosines, how can there be noise in that, you might ask? Well,
yeah, that's exactly. Well, you got numerical problems or what?
Well, you do if you're not very smart and don't know how to calculate the intersection between a sphere and a circle.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, I start with moving the flaps, I think, as I recall. It doesn't matter. It's the same problem. And then the location of the flap control horn hole is on a circle. And then you've established the length of the push rods by setting everything at neutral and figuring out the push rod length. And then the distance from, so you know the distance from the flap control horn to the hole in the bell crank, but you don't know where the hole in the bell crank is. So you know that this is it's a sphere.
Yeah, so it lies on a sphere somewhere of
It
a
lies
certain radius.
I guess, yeah, the circle that you're intersecting is the location of the bell crank hole as it goes around. And I tried to figure out how to do that right, and wasn't smart enough. So I just had it look around. Excel's fast enough that you could do that. But this mechanical advantage, when it took the slope of the curve, it differentiated, and it's kind of noisy.
Would you call it operational slop?
Then, but on the latest program, it's a very sophisticated stupidity, and I iterated, and then when I got to the location, I backed up and then went in 10th or 100th size steps of what I used for the initial iteration. So I was able to get a much finer noise. So I'll send you the new program.
Okay, yeah. I was going to ask you if there's any bugs in this one that I didn't know about. That may be one.
Well, it's a feature, I guess.
Yeah, this is like a 3-year-old edition too. So
yeah, it is.
I have a question about what we're looking at. we're looking at this curved blue line. Now that we see this curved blue line, what does it do for you? I don't understand it at all.
It tells you the mechanical advantage you have over the flaps, between the lead outs and the flaps. And
how hard do you have to push?
On the left of the graph is what? Pounds, inches, feet? I don't understand. What's on the left?
on the left, let's look over there. That's
10, 5, 0.
Degrees of flap per inch of lead out movement.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's the caption's up on top, and it's not very well.
Is this in metric? 28 and a half millimeters? Because
no, that's well, this case it was the length of the forward lead out, but in the new program I have the difference between the two lead outs, which is better.
If you have different length lead outs.
Well, in the new one, it's just the how much one goes in when plus the amount the other comes out. So
yeah,
I'm
that
serious.
would depend on the bell crank, wouldn't it, Howard?
I'm serious.
I mean,
I'm looking at this line and I can't see where this would benefit me at all. I mean, I'm just looking at a
no. Well, you look at it, try to make it symmetrical. Otherwise, you got more
down
more advantage.
Yeah, you got it more sensitive and up and down or around. The new program is the one I showed last week is a little better.
Doesn't that have to do with how you cant your flap horn if it's leaning forward or straight up and down?
That helps. That's one of the things you fiddle with. There's a bunch of stuff to fiddle with. Look at the video and get something else to do because there's a lot of dead space in the video when I'm changing programs and stuff.
See, I lean the flap horn forward so that the bell the push rod from the bell crank to the top of the hole. Of course, I'm running those bent flap horns. The horn itself from pivot to pivot is straight up and down perpendicular, but the flap where it connects to is leaning forward probably 8 degrees so that you get equal throw on equal side.
That's one of the things you fiddle with.
Okay, but look
up on the input table here, you've got these degrees.
Looking at this line,
tells you how much lean there is in each of the parts of the horn.
Looking at that line didn't make any sense to me what I'm looking at. I'm just looking at a bent line. I don't, didn't understand.
Yeah, look at it, the new program.
Howard, would it be fair to say that dip in the curve to the right-hand side, it's we're talking about minute increments in forces and movements, but they're the ones that are critical. They're right on that cutting edge of the envelope, aren't they? So even though it's a minute change, that's where it's at, man. That's where it happens. That's the cutting edge.
Okay,
well, go ahead.
Here's an example of the horn that I use right here.
Can you stop sharing for a second, Mark?
Sure.
And come back to it so we can see both Howard and
okay, here's the flap horn.
Here. There you go.
Here's the flap horn pivot that I use. And I go to the second one, not the top one, because I don't like 1.5 inch horns, but you can use either one. And I try to make this part here perpendicular with the ground and these at 90 degrees this way. So that when it's in the airplane, that's leaning forward like that. Then the elevator horn is perpendicular at a 90 degrees so that it all rocks at the same movement. Is that correct, Howard? I mean, it seems to work for me.
Pretty much, but look at that program last week, and there's a little more to it.
I still need to cut that up and make a video out of it.
Yeah, Howard.
Yeah,
You're pushing the elevator bell horn from underneath, and you're pushing the flap from on top. So they need to be spread slightly, don't they? In actual fact.
look at the program, and there's a cartoon in there that shows what to do.
Yeah.
Not the computer program, but the show from last week.
Yeah. Oh, it's all fascinating stuff.
All right.
I just go like that. Yep, that's about right.
Yeah, TLR, that looks about right.
Yeah.
Hey, can you show that graph again, Mark? I just have a question.
Yeah. I guess we maybe you shouldn't, because it's embarrassing, because that's the old program.
Well, don't be embarrassed.
One thing I should say here is any one printout of this program doesn't really tell you everything. You want to iterate on the different numbers and adjust them a little bit one way or the other, and then get another printout and see what it looks like. And what I ended up with was a whole pile of paper. With a whole bunch of different inputs, and then I could see how things were moving.
Just to clarify myself, this graph here, looking at the left-hand side, the curvature is ending up a little bit higher, and then the curvature to the right is a little bit lower, right? So that means the mechanical advantage, more advantage on one side, either the up or down. Is that right?
Yeah, but that's pretty good.
That's pretty good?
That's pretty good.
What I'm seeing right now?
Look at the range of motion here on the lead outs. Jeez. That's what, 1.5 inches across there?
Okay. I didn't know. I was just surprised to hear that was good and that was good.
Just the forward length. So you double that for the difference between them, pretty much.
Okay, so that'd be tremendous throw.
But isn't the goal to have them both the same, the forward movement and the reverse movement to be exact same? Isn't that the goal, or am I mistaken?
Yeah, but the point is really flying in the middle here in a small region. We're not flying across the whole graph.
Unless you need it in an emergency. What about giving this stuff to a good accountant? They know all about negative gearing and leverage. That'd work it out for you.
Yeah, that's what this program does. It's a really good accountant.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I have a better appreciation for it.
Just look at the show from last week. You were busy warding off.
Yes. I got to get back and watch the show again so I can see what I was missing. Hitting all those trolls out.
Yeah, and the newer version of this program is better.
I understand. I get it. It's like flying my my Twister compared to my SV11. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Very good. Thank you very much for that.
Yes.
McBride 001, who's a member of our YouTube channel. Thank you very much. I believe that's Ruben. He gave us a like. Thank you very much. And if you've been watching the show the whole time, you obviously like it. So please hit the like button. Please consider doing a super chat. We could definitely use the super chats. You can donate whatever you like. Hopefully you see the value in it and donate in accordance to the value you are receiving. I'm doing this, and Sparky's doing this to help our community. So show us your appreciation. And one way to show us your appreciation would be to donate.
But we ain't making a killing at it, that's for sure.
Are you coming on tomorrow, Sparky?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll see you then.
I think we're going to do Saturday with John.
Oh, great.
We got that split screen going now, and maybe Dan will join in too. I don't know.
Very cool. Very cool.
Good stuff.
I'm trying to keep the show more than me sanding or, whatever. I built 3 of the same airplane. That's kind of boring to see the same shit over and over and over again.
It's never boring, Sandy.
Yes, it's
Sparky.
never it's never
It's
boring.
never boring. No.
It's never to me. I've never been bored. Even the sanding is not boring. It's I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm weird, but it's not boring to me.
I mean, I picked up something the other day, Sparky, you said about the shadow on the wingtip. You said, oh, see that shadow there, how it's different? I got to bring that shadow up so that, it's the same. And I thought, yeah, I mean, it's so obvious. It stares you in the face, but unless somebody like you points at it and says, that's it, now there's the thing. I mean, that happens all the time through
You
your
ever heard
phone.
the term candling? That is candling. That's
What's that mean?
same way a body man. If you go to a good body shop, they got great big lights on stands, and they set it down next to your car, and they're shooting
Yes.
light down the side. So when he starts block sanding, he can see the waves in it, and he'll block sand all those waves out because you're looking at the shadows. Well, that's what you're doing when you're shaping a leading edge or a wingtip or whatever. You hold it up to the light and you go, well, shit, that's high there, and keep sanding until it's a nice smooth contour.
Yeah, right. I'm with you. It's kind of like there's a million times, in a year that'll happen, those kind of little things. And we don't always verbalize them back to you because there's a bit of a time lag and you're often busy and involved in, mixing up dope or whatever. So you don't always get a chance to answer the questions or comments that we make. But what we're doing is we're internalizing. When we're watching, that stuff's sinking in more than you believe. You mightn't think it is, and you mightn't think, oh, those buggers out there are not interested, they're not writing anything. But we can see you're busy. There's certain programs where you're very chatty and you want to talk, you want to interact with the audience, and there's other times when we can see you're really focused on what you're doing. So we leave you alone. But that doesn't mean we're not watching. We're still watching, boy.
Well, it just seems like it would be boring to me because it's boring to me. I don't understand how people can watch paint dry and sanding.
No, not at all.
Holding
not
glue.
at all. We're watching a Picasso at work, and I'm not blowing smoke up you. You know what? We're watching an artist, a guru who's good at what he's doing, and hey, that's what it's all about. You're the top.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Well, I reckon, yeah.
A lot of good builders out there.
There are, but you're up there with them.
You got to go to the nats. When you go to the nats, the first 3 rows look like they all come off the same bench.
Yeah.
Everything's done the same.
Yeah, sure.
And there's plenty of good airplanes there.
Yeah, and it only happens through bloody hard work.
You bet.
Hey Sparky, I watched the show when you was brazing the horn together, and I didn't see when you bent the legs. Did you show that on the later video, or you didn't show the bending of the ears or legs or whatever you want to call them on the horn?
I think I bent it on 2 videos ago. I bent them just before I put it in. Now I marked them off, and it ain't nothing. It's just put it in that K&S bender and bend it around.
So when you bent it, did you put a square up against the that second hole so that second hole from the top was, perpendicular to the plane? I mean, not the airplane, but the flat surface, your table or.
Now watch closely. Watch closely. This is the square right here.
You don't mess around with a bionic eye.
Right here. Just look and see it. That's close enough.
Yeah.
And when I bent the horns themselves, we were talking about dihedral and swept forward trailing edges and so on and so forth. Now, when I bent these horns, I overbent them the first time, And so I had to redo it. I got my machinist square. Now this is a swept forward trailing edge. So this horn leg right here has to be at a 90 degrees to the trailing edge, not 90 degrees to this wire here.
Yeah.
That's 90.
Right, exactly.
That's 90
Yes.
there.
Yes.
Otherwise, you'll put your flaps in a bind. And as
Yep.
far as dihedral goes, if you, like Mark said, if you keep the wire close to the end of the flap, so it has a little bit of torsion, and instead of making the horn clip out of 1/8 inch, if you use 3/16, that gives you a little more slop for that horn to do this motion in a lateral
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
It's called a lucky box, but not an exaggerated lucky box. Just bend it at 90 degrees to the flap or to the trailing edge and use a 3/16 horn clip, and you'll have smoother controls. And that's the biggest thing that I get after these guys, locally, is controls. You got to have smooth controls if you're going to do anything. It's got to be free, super free, not rubbing on the fuselage like some do.
I like it when you put the model on the ground, Sparky, and the flaps and everything droop. They do their thing.
Yeah, that helps. Sometimes they won't, but
Well, yeah, but they're
drag. But
on the edge of drooping.
if you have heavy flaps, they're definitely droop. But I try to make my flaps a 1/2 ounce, not 1.5 ounces.
Sometimes a droop is a good thing.
My flaps, this piece of wood that I used here for the flaps is 3.5 pound wood. Right
Wow.
here. This flap will be less than 1/2 ounce when I.
Oh, that's something I was going to ask you. Why do you make that 1/4 of an inch wider on the outside?
Because there's less area on the outboard tip. And what happens is it'll drop a wing. Now, if you look at like Billy Warridge, every airplane he's got has got a wart on the end. It's a big, clear piece of tin, or maybe he'll have a piece of tin or whatever, because he doesn't.
Right.
He forgot to make extra flap area out there.
Guilty as charged. Yes.
So
I can see that.
If you do it up front, you don't have to worry about it. And I just make it a 1/4 inch bigger at the tip. And that gives you enough area to hold that wing up in a hard turn.
Yeah, right.
Because I run the analogy of this is like a sprint car. We're building in stagger and wedge. We're making a left-hand turn, but you're trying to make the airplane turn right, to hold line tension. So I run motor offset. Some guys don't like that, but that's fine by me. I'll keep my motor offset. And the wing is, I always run a symmetry. I don't like a symmetrical wing because you have to run too much tip weight that way. And then you'll end up with Gumby on the tip, big wads of clay trying to get line tension to keep the wing down.
So by some but what you mean is your inside wing is always slightly longer by a fraction, 1/2 inch to 1 inch.
Well, this one here is 1.25 on this airplane. One rib, 1.25. It depends. That one up there is 3/4. This is 1.25. I decided to extend it a little bit for this.
About 30 millimeter, right? Yeah. Well, I tend to do the same, but I go a little bit more, probably about 40 on this Hurricane, and I've got a bit of dihedral in it. So all the stuff we've talked about in the last 10 minutes is going to be really helpful because I've got a bit of dihedral to deal with.
You'll have to ask Howard because he's the mathematician on this.
Yeah.
But I also think that the reason for the wider flap on the tip is that the outboard wing is moving faster than the inboard.
Yes.
So that helps offset that. A lot of the stuff that I do, I can't explain to you why I do it. I just know that it works. So I just do it.
Yeah.
After building 100 airplanes, you go, that wasn't right. Oh, shit, didn't do that. Oh, crap, I got to fix that. So after you've made all these trim changes, you just build it in the airplane and you're done with it. Usually I can see, as far as lead out position goes, I can get it so close before I ever fly the thing, I never move them. After I fly, because I can plot by eye that's where they go. And
Yeah.
I'm not measuring anything. Good night, Denny. I'm not measuring anything. I just look at it and go, yep, that's where they go. And normally that's where they go.
I do that by other people.
Yeah, right. I mean,
like Walker's airplane. That's how I design. I look at Walker's airplane.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you see something's working, copy it.
Yeah, he's fickle. He changes stuff every week, so you gotta keep up to date. You can't take one thing from one year and something else from another year. You're all messed up.
Hey guys, I want to end the live stream where the show is getting pretty long, but I want to thank everybody for coming in. There's a new guy in the chat box, Ace Gamer. And he says hello and says, how are we doing? And he says, I have a friend who talks a lot about flying. Yeah, well, come on in and we can talk even more about flying. Ace Gamer, do you fly control line or RC? What do you fly? And then I'll give him a chance to respond before I end the show. But I want to thank everybody for coming in. It was great seeing everybody, and hopefully we get back together. Today's Friday, so hopefully you have a chance to do some work in your shop and maybe go flying this weekend, depending on where you live, and then come back Monday and tell us all about it. And
It'll be snowing here.
It's snowing there?
No, it will be this weekend.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
And show and tells are really I really enjoy show and tells. I was talking to Bart Kuplinski today, and he's gonna probably tell you the story, but I was so amazed. Him and some other guys did a demonstration during a baseball game. I mean, a professional baseball game at Angel Stadium. It was a double header, and there was the entertainment. Can you imagine how big? And so they did this flying in front of 40,000 people.
Wow.
I mean, that's how big Control Line was at one time. Bart told me they had combat guys doing a little demonstration, and then he did him and another guy, they flew in tandem. They flew Noblers, did the pattern in tandem in front of 40,000 people. Isn't that amazing?
Well, back during the day when Chrysler was the sponsor, they had lots of, it was a big deal. They offered scholarships and huge trophies and all kind of crap. That was in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, I've seen some videos. There are some videos of that type of stuff when it was just big, Chrysler, because they really believe that Control Line pilots, they're going to be future astronauts and military pilots, and there was a lot of interest. And even for their automotive, they saw it as a chance to.
I have a sad announcement too.
Uh-oh.
The announcement that I have is that there will be streaming of the Nats. There will not be streaming of the Worlds. The reason being, I was informed by Danny that the FAI owns all rights to anything that's done. So I'm not getting a lawsuit for streaming.
No.
Wow.
A shame.
Yeah, that's what kind of kills the hobby. We need to promote that stuff. I don't understand. If you go to Muncie, nobody even knows that the Academy of Model Aeronautics is there.
Yeah.
Why don't they promote that, in the town and say, hey, we're having a big, you have 10,000 people there,
I know, it's amazing. When I was there with you at the Nats, and then we was wearing our Nats hats, and we was in the restaurants, like we wasn't even a curiosity. I was just like, how is that? I mean, the ones more in town, not that family restaurant we went to, not that one, but the other ones. I went to like the like the franchise restaurants, that kind of thing.
Right.
With our Nats hat. Well, obviously you was there. You and John and I were together eating, and I was just surprised that no one would ask us, "What is the Nats?" or "What are you guys doing?"
Nobody knows. They don't even know that the place exists. It's poor management.
It is.
Should be going to the news station and say, "Hey, we're having our national champions come out and do a 5-minute coverage, whatever, so people could see it on TV."
Yes.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of peculiar. We have 3 or 4 guys wearing the same hat at a franchise restaurant. No one comes up to you and goes, "What are you guys doing? What's going on?" Not a peep. Anyways, I got a response from Ace Gamer. He says, I have a friend who talks a lot about flying. I don't fly, but my friend does. My other friend works ATC. I'm not sure what he means by that.
Air traffic control.
Okay, thank you, Sparky. And I was thinking about the all-terrain vehicles, the motorcycles. Remember, they with 3-wheeler. That's what I was thinking of. Anyways, I'm going to end the live stream. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Please like, share, and subscribe. The subscriptions are free. I mean, sharing is free, liking is free.
Don't like that.
And if you can, show us some appreciation by doing super chats or joining our YouTube channel, which is only $4.99 a month. That's like going and getting a latte or a fancy coffee just once a month.
One beer.
Yeah. So, I mean, please,
exactly.
how much is a carton of cigarettes? I mean, that's a lot of money these days. Just
We won't mention Bud Light.
$4.99. Anyways, I mean, if you're not getting any value, I don't know why you're not watching, but if you are getting value and you are watching, why aren't you supporting? Anyways, I'm gonna be back. We'll be back Monday. So have a good weekend. Be safe. Fair winds, tight lines. See you.